Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. The Phillies just swept the Giants. They're allowed to win a series. They're allowed to sweep a series. I didn't know that. It's the first time that they have won a series at all since the series against the Rockies in Colorado around Easter, and this is the first time that they've swept the series all year long. So here to talk all about it, we have the co-host of this podcast, Jeremy. How are you doing, Jeremy?
How sweet it is to get swept by us, by us.
I didn't know if they had it in them,
Great.
but back-to-back walk-offs today and a doubleheader. You gotta love a doubleheader. I mean, you gotta feel pretty good as a Phillies fan right now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the light might be coming. I mean, uh, getting rid of their best friend Topper might have woken them up a bit, or the Giants might just suck.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low. I think it's hard to say like, hey, the reason they fired Thompson is, that's the reason why they're kind of going off right now. But there was definitely planning in terms of, deciding to fire Thompson before you're playing a team like the Giants.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out. I mean, just the second game alone, there was a bunt hit, and the defensive positioning was insane. I mean, the top of the 10th, boom, that move was insane. And then the first game when they hit and ran.
Yeah, it did feel a little refreshing. And to be honest with you, I think the biggest takeaway that I have from this series is that there were moments that it felt like the old Phillies from the last few years are back. And, I think that there's still a lot of questions about like the medium term future, hell, even the short term future of this team. Like, I think there's still a lot of question marks for this season. But it was nice to be able to get a little bit of relief, a little bit of that feeling back for at least a few games.
Yes, yes, and especially just because how we suck when we go to SF, it's just nice to sweep them when they only took two from us.
Right. You win the season series. Um, I do think that's actually something that's like, important to talk about in like the days of there not being a game 163. The tiebreakers matter a lot, right?
I
Like the
miss
Cubs are a
those.
team that the Phillies could be tied at the end of the year if they are going on a run, and that's a tiebreaker they won't have. The Phillies are well back of the Braves and the tiebreaker now for the NL East if that comes into play. But obviously, Phillies have a lot to do still before they even have to worry about those playoff tiebreakers.
Yep, yep. But we're only five back of the six back of the wild card now, so that's cool.
Yeah, you take it as you get it. You're 10 games back in the division, which is kind of crazy. I think people like, rightfully are happy and they feel good about getting the sweep, but they're
No,
still
we're 9.5.
9.5. You're
It
right. That was not
hasn't
updated before
updated
this game.
yet. Yeah.
They're 9.5 back in the division still. But how would you say like you feel? Like do you feel that this is just like a one series long aberration and it will kind of go back to the Phillies being brutal tomorrow in Miami, or do you think that this is like a sign of better things to come?
Yeah, ask me after the Miami series.
Yeah, yeah. It's a weird series, right? Like a wraparound series, and starting Friday, ending Monday night. I feel like you get like one of these series every year, and it's always awkward every single time.
Yeah, yeah. Like as much as the series, I mean, just today, I mean, walk off win on the doubleheader is just awesome. So riding the high, but let's see how they do. And
Yeah,
Bohm, Bohm still got no hit. Oh, you got a double in the first game, right?
yeah. But he had a couple hits in the first game,
Yeah, I mean,
first game of the series, not at the
well,
doubleheader.
yeah, yeah. Stott still looks lost at the plate, but they're making a bunt now at least, which is good.
He had a
So
big double in the game this afternoon to even set up
he
Crawford.
did. Well, he had a
There was a
triple
triple.
in the first
There was
game.
a triple.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. But I mean, the one thing I'm sad about is it's been 3 freaking years since we've had a walk-off home run, and Adolis cranked it, and it just was into the wind.
I mean, Tom McCarthy's calls, I feel like, have been kind of off all year. Like, he gets super hype about balls that turn out to be just kind of routine. That wasn't routine. It was hit very hard to the deepest part of the park, but it also was not that close to being a home run at the same time. The calls have been a little bit awkward all year from T Mac, and I feel like that's probably part of why people kind of have reactions like they had to that ball from Garcia today.
Yeah, I mean, also, like Amaro said the stat, like we're one of the best hard hit rates, but that must be mostly carried by Schwarber and Garcia.
Yeah, probably. Um, let's kind of we haven't had a chance to really be positive in a long time, so I wanted to kind of go back and forth, kind of talking about positive things. I know that there are still reasons to be concerned and negative, and we can get into that a little bit later on. But let's start with the positive things. I'll go first. This bullpen is genuinely pretty good. I think you can nitpick a little bit, but as a whole, the bullpen was excellent. They had two scoreless innings on Monday night or Tuesday night. Sorry. Obviously today in what was a bullpen game, most of the guys did their job. Trevor Richards was kind of thrown out there to die, and I was impressed by him, even though he's probably getting DFA'd tomorrow. Um, and Brad Keller looked better, struck out the side. Shugart was incredible, getting two wins in one day, as it turns out, right? Like, I feel like that's something you don't see every day. Kerkering had a good series. Like, I think that this bullpen has just really impressed me in this series.
Oh yeah, I mean they got a little bit of rest.
One day. That's all they needed was one day off.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also Sanchez probably could have gone longer today, but they were just rightfully so. Just like we need wins as much as we can. Let's not take any chances.
Sure. Sure. What's
And
your what's your big
I don't know,
positive? What's your next positive?
is Sugar our Hall of Famer?
Is your Hall of Famer? I don't think so. But getting two wins in one day for a relief pitcher, like who knows when the last time that happened was? That feels like an old timey thing when you had a lot of double headers and you had relief pitchers in the game for like 4 innings, right?
I think Madsen did it once,
Let's see if I can figure this out.
but like another positive thing. Uh, Blinking right now. Oh yeah, the Giants coaches staff worse than ours.
Yeah.
That yeah, I mean the bottom of the ninth in the second game, you have a base. Was the base open? Was it? Yeah, either way, they had a righty pitch three batters, and they had Schwarber up, base open, and one they left the righty in there who just threw nothing but splitters. And eventually, after like 8 splitters, Schwarber
Yeah.
eventually, even though it was down in the dirt, cranked it down for the double. And then the top of the 10th, first batter like ball off Turner's glove. That was an easy play. Turner wouldn't it would have been a single no matter what if Turner like dove for it, caught it, but the guy stopped at third.
There you go. And here's a stat. Schugart was the first pitcher to earn two wins in one day since Brian Densing did for the Twins in 2013. The last Phillies pitcher was Terry Adams in September of 2002. So, pretty rare
Okay,
thing. September
yeah.
21st, 2002. Phillies
The
against the
hell is
Reds.
Terry Adams?
Phillies legend Terry Adams. Put some respect on his name. He's in the
He
record books.
was okay. He was okay.
He's in the record books now with Chase Schubert. So we'll take those. Um, my next positive is like you kind of mentioned this earlier, but like the infield positioning has been better, right? Like I feel like the BABIP trends kind of reversed a little bit over this weekend, and some of that is luck, and things are going to regress to the mean and all that fun stuff. But I think part of it's also that this infield is positioned in a much better way, and it feels like the guys are being set up to win and record outs in a way that maybe they weren't earlier in the year.
But then that's just weird though. But like, why would that be something like that Hopper would do Manly do differently than top? Like, they get, like, the infield coaching has the same information. I don't know.
I agree, but it does feel different, doesn't it?
It does. And I wouldn't say bad luck is fully gone. I mean, the how they tied it in the second game was a bloop by O'Reilly.
Baseball, it's always going to happen. But like, it felt like
I know,
early in the
2-1
year,
game.
it was like inning after inning, balls would just fall in like crazy, especially like the little dinks to center field.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
next?
that seems less.
What's next on your positive list?
I mean, this isn't positive for the Phillies, but I mean, the Giants center fielder throw to home at the end of the game. Holy crap!
That was pretty incredible. I mean, Gilbert, he was a former Mets prospect, right? And he was traded.
He was a
I think.
top prospect too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he seems like toolsy. He seems so toolsy. It seems like he's going to be really annoying for like a Padres fan or a Dodgers fan or something like that. Like he seems like he's just going to be a nuisance. Um,
And if he ever figures it out at the plate, I mean, he really hasn't yet. But no, but yeah, like, he caught it pretty deep in center and just threw it. I mean, it wasn't a line drive or anything, but it was a strike to home on the
yeah,
fly.
I don't even know if he got a crow up out of that. Barely. It was like crazy. The arm
Yeah,
strength
'cause,
is just
yeah, because he caught it and fell to the ground, then threw it,
yeah,
which is even
unbelievable.
yeah. So if he learns how to hit in the majors, he could be one of those guys that's just pain in the butt.
Yeah. Next on the positive list for me, I'm surprised it took this long for us to get here, but starting pitching was pretty good in this series. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that things looked perfectly normal with Chris Sanchez today. He battled through it a little bit, not a couple of runs early, but he fought through it in a way that was better than his previous games. He did not allow double digit hits today. He only allowed four over 6 and 2/3. Um, Walks a little bit elevated still, but overall, this is much better than Sanchez has been for a few starts. Now, Luzardo, on the other hand, he looked fully back on Tuesday night. And I know that the Giants lineup might not be like the greatest of all time, which is weird because like on the picture of it, I think that it actually should be a pretty decent lineup. But I am going to choose to be positive and take this week as a major win for starting pitchers that we were a little concerned about early in the year.
Yeah, and I said last time that after Luzardo's last start, he was barely missing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
even just more refinement from when he did his last start. So I could say safe to say he's back. And
yeah.
I was like looking at like how wild was he when runners are on? Like what well, like only one batter he was truly wild when someone was on. So
Sanchez, I think there's still some concern. Sanchez, it feels like he's mostly there, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic with him.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Anything else that you have on like the big positives?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Crawford has 2 walk-off hits in his first month. I mean, that's pretty cool for a rookie. They're both
Yeah,
infield hits, which is hilarious.
as Justin Crawford only could do, right? Like, um,
He is exactly as described, but except he can't steal bases consistently, but also running on Bailey was really stupid.
yeah, yeah. He almost had a home run today. It was like the second time he hit a ball off the top of the wall
I
this
know.
season.
I know he has power in his body. They've got to just tap into it. I think he could be a 10 home run guy.
Yeah, he's a big believer in hitting the ball into the ground as hard as he possibly can. So you get that launch angle a little bit higher, and you could be in a good place. But hearing myself say that, I feel like this is also the way people talked about Scott Kingery. Like, get Scott Kingery's launch angle fixed, and then he's going to be like a star. And then we ended up ruining Scott Kingery because of it. So um,
I don't. No one was asking for Scott Kingery to change his launch angle.
that was a thing back in the day. I swear that was a big thing back in the day.
No, he went on his own to get his launch, and then he screwed up his swing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're right. I'm misremembering that a little bit. You're correct.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause after the juice ball year, he went and tried to get more, and he just like he screwed himself up, and he hasn't been able to recover since.
Sidebar about the juice balls. I'm a big fan of pitching. In fact, I'd say I enjoy a low scoring pitching game more than 90% of baseball fans. But they got to juice the balls again or something. Like the offense has been going down more and
Oh
more
yeah,
year after year after year. I don't know if the answer is juicing the balls. I think more realistically, you could either move the mound slightly further back or lower it or something. Um, but I think it's just
yeah. I would
like
no. So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I would agree with doing the mound and stuff rather than the ball again. 'Cause the ball should just be the ball. They shouldn't have to change the ball ever.
Yeah. How about we
So
just
yeah,
get rid of the humidors too? In Coors Field.
I mean, I think they need that in course.
Well, they have them everywhere now. They have a humidor in every single stadium. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because and power isn't really. I mean, besides the Phillies, I feel power isn't the problem. They can't, but we need like I know batting average matter, but like, come on, who wants to see? We'll look second tier, 220 or 300.
Yeah. No, you're right. Um, and for the humidors, it was required for all 30 ball clubs to use them by 2022 to regulate offense. So yeah,
Well, honestly, that might be part of the problem. The humidors actually, we might need to get rid of them.
it might be. Coors Field introduced them in 2002, and Chase Field has them in 2018. So that's interesting.
But they needed it in cores, though. That was like it was needed. I mean,
But did they
just
need it? I would argue they didn't,
I
because I think part of the beauty of baseball is how different every single stadium is.
yeah, no, and honestly, cores. If the Rockies want to fix some of the problems, they need to bring the fences in because the problem is so many things just fall because the outfit's so big because they're trying to prevent home runs, which is just embrace that you got to give up home runs and just work on preventing things from falling in.
I mean, the Rockies aren't going to be a destination for top pitching free agents in the first place, right? So, like, you're not going to
Yeah, I
be
know, but I know, but for example, the Phillies, it was a since the big park was a bandbox, could be considered because all these dinky home runs. But then when Morris, analytics start coming out, especially it was really around the time when Halliday came here, the stats came out saying, "Oh, Philly is actually kind of a pitcher's ballpark because less doubles and triples."
yeah, yeah. I think it's like ever so slightly tilted towards the hitters now. Like 1% over league average or something like that. But it really is like a fairly neutral playing stadium, which I think would surprise a lot of people because of the reputation that it has.
Well, I think the reputation has gone away since John Smoltz stopped playing because he was the biggest complainer.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure, that
but
is
no, but
true.
I bring the Rockies field, bring the fences in.
Imagine if they did move the fences in at Coors Field. Like the online reaction to that would be hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, but anyone with a good baseball IQ will understand that it makes sense.
Sure.
That outfield is huge.
It is pretty crazy. When I went to Coors Field for the first time, number one, like it struck me how you could actually see with your eyes like how the balls were going further, right? Like you
Yeah,
hear a bat
it's
and you
very
expect
pretty.
a certain distance and it's just going further than that every single time.
Yeah, it's
And
hilarious.
secondly, it was my first time I was in Colorado or really at altitude at all. And you really do feel it. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and it's very pretty, but I find it overall like the food is mediocre and disappointing.
I had my one time at Coors Field. I was in like their version of the Hall of Fame club because tickets were like super cheap. I think it was like buy one get one free, $50. So I went with a friend, um, and we got like basically 25 each. And I had like a, lobster roll in Coors Field, and they said they flew the lobster in every day from Maine, which seems like a waste, but it was a very good lobster roll.
Yeah, yeah. So back to the relevant stats for the Phillies. Schwarber in the doubleheader day was 5 for 6, two doubles, two home runs, three walks, zero strikeouts.
Is
He
that
went
good?
from 190 to 225.
Is that good? That's pretty good.
I found out something that's negative. Is Marshall the worst challenge for ABS?
Oh my god. I mean, that feels like it was forever ago. Like split doubleheaders feel like they take forever because they kind of do. Yeah, Marshawn's challenges are not great. The Giants also made a lot of bad challenges. We
Yeah,
saw a
they did.
challenge. We saw a challenge from a pitcher today for the first time in a long time. Right, Sanchez challenged and got one wrong. Um,
Yeah, but that was close. That was close at least.
but like you shouldn't be challenging if you're the pitcher. Like I think we established that on opening day with Zach Pop and like the way that the data is across the league. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. But also it's just funny. Yeah, you get a if you have none, you get one for extra innings. But if you still have one, you don't get another one.
It is pretty stupid. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but no, I but also it might not be. We're forgetting Stubbsy is back. That could be the vibe shift they needed. So I don't. When Rivers back, I want Marshawn gone.
I agree. I would rather have Stubbs than Marshawn, but I kind of maintain what I've been saying, which is that I kind of think Dylan Moore is going to be the casualty and that they're going to just roll with three catchers.
I'd be fine with that too. I'm still. Dylan Moore still has no hits, right?
No, Dylan Moore does not have any hits.
Yeah, so we're he's a luxury on a contender. We are not contending right now. He needs to be gone. We need people that can actually do something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the positional versatility is nice. Like, I'm always gonna, respect the guys that can play all around the diamond. But yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
but I know, but Bohm could play both corners. The Stubbs can play both corners and the outfield. Sosa
sure.
can play all around. Stott can play all around. Turner can play all around. We don't need more.
Well, Stubbs is really the guy that would be taking his place because Stubbs can
Yeah,
play catcher, obviously. Moore can't play catcher. Stubbs can play at third. He was doing some of that in Lehigh Valley. Stubbs can play in the corner outfield. He's doing that in Lehigh Valley. Um, I think that's better
yeah,
than Dylan Moore at this point.
yeah, yeah. Stubbs has been up in for a little bit. He's batting 339, 333. He has two hits already.
Yeah, 2 for 6. Yeah, but like I really don't understand why they're playing Marshawn more than they are Stubbs. Like I get he's like a switch hitter or whatever, but like I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it.
Well, it made sense last year when he was 26, and so like, okay, this is Marshawn's chance to shine. Like, is he actually going to be anything? And he's not.
Yeah. Yeah. How crazy is it that this is Marshawn's? I mean, technically, he had a couple years where he wasn't with the major league team, but this is like his seventh year since he debuted on the Phillies in 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he was injured a lot in 22 and 23. That was really he only played in 7 games, 22 and 23, 55. So
Yeah. And they had Stubbs, who was probably better than he was at the time.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. But I mean, there was reason for Marshawn, be promised Marshawn 23 and Lehigh in 55 games, had a 305, 839 OPS. So there was hope, but no, he, he's nothing.
I'm very excited to get JT back. If nothing else, just because the bottom of the lineup being like Crawford, Bohm, Stott, and Marshawn is just like brutal. Like it's hard to feel like you're getting anything out of those four guys. I know that Subs had a big hit today, whatever, or not Subs. Stott had a big hit today, um, and JT's not like some kind of world saver, but he is a big improvement over the other four guys that they have at the bottom of the lineup there. So it'll at least extend the decent hitters in this lineup by one more hitter.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Yeah, maybe the rest for JT was also good for him getting to the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's take a little bit of a bigger picture look now. The Phillies sit 12 and 19. They're 9.5 games back in the division. How much did this series sweep against the Giants do as far as making you more positive about the team again, if it did anything at all?
I mean, they definitely were scoring multiple innings all the games, so that was nice.
Yeah.
And like
It
our
felt distinct.
run, our run differential has, like, gone down significantly. We're only -45 now. We were, like, -60s before.
Yeah, I mean, they got, +9 this series against the Giants, so, that'll knock a chink off there.
Yeah, I mean, again, it really is, like, how will he look after facing the Marlins?
Yeah, yeah, I think this was a great first step. I think there's still a lot of steps left to go, right? Like, they're
Yeah,
not 10
but
games
yeah,
under 500, but they're still 7 games under 500 as April comes to an end, which is not where you wanna be. I don't think it's where the Phillies envisioned themselves being, but I think the path to them correcting things becomes slightly more clear. Uh, I don't know if I would bet on the Phillies to make the playoffs still. Like, to me, that feels like a 50-50, maybe slightly less likely than it is likely. But I feel
yeah.
like things are much more alive than they have been. Because even in the Brave series, it wasn't as bad as it was before then.
No, 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 that was a lot closer series. And, yeah, I mean, if they really, at the end of May, if they're, like, a couple games under 500, might feel a lot better.
Yeah. And we've talked about this every episode, it feels like recently, but this is the schedule that you could make up games against. Um, and it's just up to them to seize the moment and do just that. Um, one thing I do want to call out, just because I got to be honest, um, them sweeping the series does not change how I feel about Dave Dombrowski or the way that this team has been built. It's something that I've felt for years, and this team is still completely and utterly fucked in the medium and long term. But at this point, I think that is what it is, and I just have to hope that they can have a good year this year to ease the pain of those future years.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Oh,
So yeah, what's up?
okay, no, no, so, I was looking at, the Castellanos to see if anything, and I found this article from 3 days ago. To Castellanos 2 months to torch Phillies media. Let's see, what was this?
What's
Oh,
going
this
on
seems
with
like it's
Nikki
just a
C?
rehash. Nah, this seems like a rehash.
One thing I think is interesting
Oh,
is
here, oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. Talking with, uh
I feel like I'm done with the Cassiano stuff. Like, until
I am too.
Cassianos,
I thought this was something more, yeah, yeah, just yeah, he just said, "Oh, they thrive off controversy. They'd rather be controversial than truthful," which I'm just like, I think Gelb was very kind to him in that article.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, but with Cassiano, like, I feel like it's been like talked about to death, and it's going to come up, and that's fine when the Phillies play the Padres if Castellanos is still on the Padres when that happens. Um, but I don't know. Let bygones be bygones at this point with him. That's how I feel.
Oh, yeah, I did too, but I'm just curious to see if he said anything about because Thompson being gone, that would be his last real chance to say anything without sounding like a true diva.
This is true. We'll miss out on the Castellanos Thompson reunion. Uh, one thing's that interesting. So once we changed over to the Wawa theme on the subreddit, the Phillies were 3-1, and now that we have the City Connect theme, Phillies have won their first game. So, is it possible that changing themes has saved the season?
Are you Arce Joe?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious so that the, Phillies media picked up. It's like, "Oh, they won a series now, they could change back." It's just a screenshot of the subreddit.
Wait, did that come out on somewhere on like social media today? I'd actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hold on, let me find it for you. Uh, yeah, well, I don't know who is this person a reporter for the Phillies? Let's see. X is so fucking slow. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, Lachlan March t posted it tweeted, "The Phillies walk off the Giants, and Phillies Reddit can officially change their Wawa theme." And she posted the post of how we were changing it until they win another series.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. Um, I respect it. I respect it. Lachlan Marsh, I think, is the Inquirer, right? So it's
Yeah, yeah.
lucky. Pretty cool. So nice. Anything else that you have for us today, Jeremy?
No. Um. Oh, okay. One Giants Vitolo, whatever. He is way over his head in major in MLB, which is funny.
Yeah,
And then Mendoza is definitely next to be gone.
yeah. I mean, Mendoza thing is crazy. Like, I don't know how he's staying there for as long as he stayed there. Um, it doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, no, they have not righted the ship at all. They won what 2 games in a row, and then of just
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't. I don't think that the Giants are being managed horribly. I think there's like growing pains, right? Like it's like a crazy adjustment for somebody to go from being a college coach to being a major league coach in baseball, right? Like I think it'd be probably a lot easier for any other sport to make that adjustment. Um, and for the most part, the Giants have recovered from like that first week where they were like 1-5 or 1-6 or whatever, and they got swept at home against the Yankees. Started off their year like I don't think the Giants are great or anything, but I think that they're probably going to be like a average enough team.
yeah. Just the more crazy stat, I mean, Mendoza should be fired. The Mets have lost to 88 straight games when trailing after 8 innings, and we won 2 today.
Yeah, that actually is pretty crazy. That's funny. Um, I like that. That's good. Anything else that you have for us today, Jeremy? Why don't you talk a little bit about the special episode we'll have out tomorrow?
Yes, assuming everything goes according to plan, who knows? It'll be happening during the workday. But will be interviewing. Let me make sure I get his title correct. Yeah, I will be interviewing the director of promotions and entertainment for the Iron Pigs tomorrow, Jess Canaster. So
There we go.
look forward to that. He's a family friend of mine, so connections always are nice.
I look forward to listening. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow, but I am excited to hear it nonetheless. Um,
Yeah, he has
th-
15 years in like working around like minor league baseball teams, so he should have good stories to tell.
Iron Pigs are ran so well too, right? They're the minor league team that has like the best attendance and all that good stuff. So whatever the people that work for the Iron Pigs is doing, it's working. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Well, with that being said, if anybody has any questions, if they're listening to this before that
Oh,
gets recorded tomorrow,
oh
put any
yeah. Wait,
questions.
hold on. Do we have any podcast questions right now? And we do not. Okay.
We do not, yes. But if anybody has anything for that episode, you can put something in here last minute, and we'll get to that, or you'll get to that tomorrow. But with that being said, thank you all for listening, and thank you, Jeremy, for joining us today.
Bye.
Talk to y'all later.